Rangers win, baby, 5-3 over the Florida Panthers in a game that was definitely closer than it should have been, to be completely honest. I thought that the Rangers actually played pretty well for the most part in this game. They took their foot off the gas at certain points for sure, but I thought for the most part they played a pretty solid game. And yeah, we'll talk about it. Before we do, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. We cover them heavily here on the channel, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. But let's talk about this game because there is a lot. The Florida Panthers, man, it's crazy. It's crazy how they go from how they looked last year to this. Last year, I remember being scared of this team. This year, it's whatever. It was whatever. I felt confident going into this game. Even though things got shaky, they still grabbed the 2 points, so I'm still feeling great. But let's talk about it. First period, Rangers got off to a great start, and they kept it going for the entire first period. Kreider and Mika got a 2-on-1 chance. Kreider got denied on that. Eric Stahl then went off for hooking, and unfortunately for the Rangers, they didn't really get any chances on that power play, and the only chance that happened was a Sam Bennett shorthanded chance that HALAK had to stop. So HALAK, not the first time we'll mention his name tonight, because there's a lot of good when it comes to Yaroslav Halak tonight. But power play didn't look great for the first one, so definitely a bit of a concern. Still the power play, which we'll talk further about later on. Rangers, though, were dominating pretty much the whole way through this period. They kept getting chances and chances. Trocheck went off for a roughing penalty, and the Rangers had a great penalty kill. Then Bennett goes off for interference to negate that penalty, and it made it a 4-on-4. And on the 4-on-4, just as it ends, I should say, MIKA Zibanejad gets a pass from Artemi Panarin, blows by, just completely blows by 2 defensemen on the Florida Panthers, and he accidentally sneaks it 5-hole on Sergei Bobrovsky, or by Sergei Bobrovsky, I should say. This one, I don't think he had any intention of getting it on goal there. Well, he probably was intending to get it on goal, but not the way that he did. And sure enough, it ends up going in the back of the net. So the Rangers, pretty good first period. That's pretty much all that happened for the first period. Not much else to say. They played a great first period, pretty much a complete period. 16-8 in favor of the Rangers for shots in that period. They were disgustingly good in that period. Second period, things got a little bit more crazy, though. Let's not mistake in that. HALAK had to make a lot of big saves. He made an early good glove save on Aaron Ekblad, or as Sam called him during the game, Evan Ekblad. Then he made, a Florida Panthers player hit the post on opportunity, is what I should say. Miller then had to make a nice little defensive play to stop Bennett backdoor as the Panthers kept getting chances. This play was beautiful. Keandre Miller with just a beautiful patient play there, waiting at the back of the net for the puck to be passed over, breaks that up, stops a goal, and maybe could have saved the game, you could argue. So really big stop right there. Stahl then trips up Gauthier, and the Rangers didn't get any chances on that power play. They got, I think, 1 shot on goal on that, and outside of that, everything else was blocked. So nothing good coming from that. HALAK continued to make more big saves, and Sammy Blais then takes another dumb penalty. Stop me if you heard that one before, as he elbows, I forgot who it was. I think it was for Hagee he elbowed, or Cousins. It was one of the two. But he ends up taking an elbow penalty, and just a stupid one to take. Just a stupid one. I was surprised he wasn't benched for longer during the game for that. He should have been, because that was just a stupid penalty of him to take. And the Panthers, though, couldn't end up scoring. They got a couple good looks on that power play, but couldn't end up converting. And then the Rangers end up making it 2-0 as Yaroslav Halak makes beautiful saves. Schneider then clears it. And then Kakko, from behind the net, gives it over to MIKA Zibanejad, who rifles it home to make it a 2-0 game. Schneider getting the assist along with Kakko there. Then the Rangers right after decide to take an offensive zone penalty as Panarin goes off for cross-checking. And the Rangers killed that penalty very easily. There was not even a chance really for the Florida Panthers on that one. But they would score after the power play as Cousins just threw one on goal and it went off the post and in. Harper nowhere to be found on the play. He left the man open back door. I thought initially that was tipped in there by, I think it was Colin White back door there. But it was off the post and in, and there's nothing HALAK really could have done on that one. Just a good shot right there. 2-1 game. Rangers would score, though, not too long after that, as Fox makes a beautiful pass from the blue line over to Kakko, who makes a nice patient play to get it over to Chris Kreider past Aaron Ekblad, and that made it a 3-1 game. Harper then goes off for boarding. Just a dumb penalty to take there, because You saw the back of the jersey there. You saw the jersey numbers. You can't throw that hit there. Just that simple. He ends up throwing the hit regardless. And sure enough, the Florida Panthers would score on said power play. Carter Verhaeghe threw one on net, and then Bennett got the rebound opportunity, and he buried that one for a 3-2 game there to make it a 3-2 game. And then that was pretty much it that happened there. I thought the Rangers got dominated most of the period. And for the most part, though, they took some dumb penalties, which is also what kind of costed them in the shot totals. The shots were 13-7 in favor of Florida there. Yeah, they did not take... they were dumb today with the sticks. They definitely took a lot of bad penalties, and that was just an example of it in the second period. But third period comes around, definitely a bit more quiet of a third period, despite what the shots say. I thought the Rangers actually played pretty solid in the third. Florida got an early press. HALAK made some good saves there. Verhaeghe then goes off for high sticking, and the Rangers end up scoring on the power play as Trocheck, I don't understand how he did this, but this was just beautiful here. Makes a beautiful defensive stop on Anton Lundell, who got a breakaway opportunity. And then he comes the other way. Chris Kreider hits him as he's coming down the ice, and the patience there finds Trocheck, and Trocheck taps it home for a 4-2 lead. But the Rangers, because it was a theme of the night, they couldn't hold on to a 2-goal lead for too long, and Trouba ends up screening his own goalie there, and Eric Stahl throws one on goal, and that one goes a bar down and in. So that makes it a 4-3 game. Then Kreider and Mika get a 2-on-1. Kreider can bury the opportunity. HALAK then made another nice glove save on Barkov, coming the other way. And then the Rangers would make it 5-3 as Panarin just flies through the neutral zone. I think he got that feed from, I forgot who it was from. I think Harper there. Harper and Trocheck got the assist, but I think it was Harper there that made the initial pass. But he flies through the neutral zone, and then he tries to make a pass. It ends up bouncing back over to Artemi Panarin. He rips it home to make it a 5-3 game. The Panthers almost scored right after, but HALAK again continued to make some good saves. But thankfully, wasn't too long that they ended up where they held on to the lead. It was a long time, but they ended up holding on to the lead, I should say. Kreider got a breakaway opportunity. That was pretty much about it, but the Rangers held on to win, even though they got pressured on late in this game. They win the game. Shots again in the third, 14-5. Shots in the game, 28-35 in favor of the Florida Panthers. Face-off percentage, 43-57 in favor of the Panthers. Power play went 2 for 4. I'm not fooled, though. I'm not sold on it. I didn't like the power play at all tonight. That is for sure. They didn't get really that good of looks. And the fact that it took 1 second after a 4-on-4, and the fact that it took also a defensive play by Trocheck and then a fast break the other way to score. I'm not impressed. I want to see some cycling. I want to see some puck movement there before I get all celebratory there on the power play yet again. I'm not on board with it whatsoever yet. Hits were 23-16 in favor of the Panthers, 14 block shots apiece, and 5 giveaways for the Rangers, 7 for the Florida Panthers. So, yeah, definitely a pretty eventful game, that is for sure. But I thought, again, the Rangers actually played pretty decent. They're back up to now 46 points on the season, right? They're up to 46, yeah, so not too bad there, as they are back to 4th in the Metro there. So, yeah, let's talk now about lines, because the lines are different every day. We know this, so yeah. But for the lines today, it's weird. They won this game, but I thought the lines weren't even that great at all. I thought that there was only one line that looked good today, and that was the first line, which is what we're going to start with. Kreider, Zibanejad, and Kakko looked unreal tonight. Looked unreal. Kreider had 8 shots on goal, had 2 points on the night. He was unreal tonight. Loved Chris Kreider's game. He was noticeable throughout the entire night. Had a couple deflection chances as well. Couldn't bury on any of them, but he still looked great tonight, and I'm very happy with this game. There's no question there. Kakko, even happier with his game. He looked great tonight. 2 points on the night, 2 shots on goal. Kakko, the points are going to come as long as that line stays together, because that line is absolutely unreal. It needs to stay together. Amazing what 18 minutes of ice time could do to a player, isn't it? Go on. But Kakko looked absolutely unreal. Very happy with his game, and I don't know how you could be upset if anyone is, because, man, he was unreal. And then MIKA Zibanejad had a great game as well. 2 goals for the night, 4 shots on goal, went 48% the faceoff dot, which isn't awful. So very happy with Mika Zibanejad's night. And that first line was the only one really that had sustained offensive zone pressure for the most part of the game. Outside of that, the other lines didn't really impress me whatsoever, which we'll talk about. And yeah, let's just move on to the second line. Panarin, Trocheck, and Kravtsov. They had a couple shifts that impressed me, a couple good offensive zone presses, but for the most part, I wasn't too impressed with this line. Panarin ended up with 2 points on the night, had 5 hits, played a little physical, had a shot on goal. His shot on goal went in, of course, but he had a decent game. He had a decent game. Would like to see a bit more, though, from him. There was, again, the game lead, just not looking before you make a pass thing there from Artemi Panarin. But he limited that tonight a bit more. Not an awful game for Panarin, but would like to see a bit better. Trocheck, not an awful game either, but would like to see better as well. He had 2 points on the night. And yeah, he also did pretty good in the faceoff top, 47%. But again, would like to see more. Would like to see a bit more from Trocheck when it comes to the 5-on-5 side of things, because I thought that line 5-on-5 wasn't too impressive, if I'm being quite honest, tonight, outside of that one goal they ended up getting. And then Kravtsov, I thought he had a great game for the most part. Didn't see the ice that much, but that's because of the amount of special teams they were on. And I thought, though, he had a pretty decent game. He's looking more confident each game. You're noticing him more and more each game. I thought he had a pretty solid game. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, not too bad there for Vitaly Kravtsov. And let's just keep seeing the progression. Let's just keep seeing you go out there and get better each and every game, because that's all we're asking for right now from you, Kravtsov. So let's keep seeing it, and the points will come eventually for him if he keeps playing the way that he is. And I think 5-on-5 in the long run, that line's going to end up succeeding. It's just that for this game, they didn't. So we'll just roll with it. Just roll with it a lot. Don't give up on the line just because of one little bit of a down game. Same with the bottom six. Don't give up on the third line just because they had a down game. Lafreniere, Hedl, and VC. I didn't like that line at all. I really didn't. I thought Laffy had a pretty okay game, pretty average. There was a couple plays where I'm like, wow, that was a good play by Lafreniere, especially on the defensive side of things. I thought he made a couple nice defensive plays on the night, but outside of that, I didn't really like Lafreniere's game for the most part. I thought that offensively he was a non-factor and you didn't notice him, and I thought that wasn't really a great response game from him. He had one little nice move in the offensive zone, couldn't end up getting anything from it, unless that was where his one shot on goal was from, but I don't remember him getting the shot on goal from that nice little move I'm talking about. But Lafreniere had a pretty average game considering he got scratched and the coach is trying to send a message. I would have liked a bit more. But at the same time, he also got less than 12 minutes. So take that for what you will, and you evaluate his game how you want to. He, a guy who I've been singing his praises for the past few games, definitely had a down game tonight. Didn't play too much, but he still had a down game. 43% in the faceoff dot. Not great there, and he just wasn't noticeable. He didn't get a lot of shots on goal. I think that a lot of it is because of the fact that VC and Lafreniere didn't play that great around him. I think that kind of dragged him down, but I'd like to see one change. I'd like to see Gauthier on that line next game. I'd like to see Gauthier up on the third line, and then you move VC down to the fourth line. I think that's going to do wonders for you if you balance things out that way. And I think that's going to help Philip Hedl's game a bit, having someone to set up like Julian Gauthier there to end up getting those breakaway opportunities there. So I think that you need to make that slight little change, and then you're right there with the lines. That's what I'd like to see different. But Philip Hedl had a pretty average game, and then same goes for Jimmy VC, just an average game. I don't know how he got more ice time than Philip Hedl and Alexi Lafreniere, I guess because of the penalty kill, but still pretty average game for Jimmy VC. Pretty average game. Fourth line, not too great whatsoever. Gauthier, Goudreau, and Blais. They had a couple good offensive zone shifts. I would have liked to see Brzezinski, though, back in there for Sammy Blais. I think you need to get Brzezinski back in there, and you need to get Gauthier up on the third line, VC down the fourth line. Then you're cooking. Sammy Blais cannot play. The amount of dumb penalties that he's taking is infuriating. He needs to stop playing. He needs to get out of the lineup. So, would like to see that. Sammy Blais did not have a great game. I think I made that abundantly clear. We'll move on. Barclay Goodrow tanked the face-off dot percentage for the Rangers. He went 70%. Yikes there. And I thought he was just okay tonight. I didn't really notice him at all. He was okay at best. And it's not like he did anything awful, but he was just okay. And then Gauthier was just okay as well. He had that one play where he drove to the net, as he does every game, but that's pretty much it. Nothing too great from Gauthier. Would like to see him again on the third line where he's going to get more of an opportunity, but I digress. And then for the defense, Lindgren and Fox. I thought Fox had a unreal game. Fox looked great. Can't complain at all with his game. Yeah. Not much else to say there. Adam Fox was unreal. The amount of plays that he set up today, 2 apples on the night, 4 shots on goal. Yeah, he looked great tonight. And Ryan Lindgren was pretty good as well on the defensive side of things. Loved Ryan Lindgren's game for the most part. So very happy with that deep pair. Miller and Trouba. Trouba, outside of screening his own goalie, not too bad of a night for Jacob Trouba overall. So it is what it is there. And then Keandre Miller had a bit of a rough go at certain points in this game as well, but he was just okay. I think that deep pair was just okay at best. So that's all I'll say there. And then Schneider and Harper. Harper, I thought, had a rough game. I really do. He had a point on the night, but I still thought he had a bad game. That penalty that he took was bad. And he had a couple plays that I just wasn't a fan of at all. So yeah, I thought Harper had a brutal game. And then Schneider was pretty good for the most part tonight. Had a point on the night. And had that nice little clear to break up a goal opportunity for the Panthers as well. Very happy there. And then Yaroslav Halak was definitely an MVP for the Rangers tonight. He looked absolutely unreal. And that's what we need more of from Yaroslav Halak. That's what we need more of. I'm not expecting it every time he's in goal. But man, if we could get something similar to that, then we're talking. Because that was an unreal game from Yaroslav Halak. An unreal game. So... and he wasn't even a star of the game. I think that's unfair. I think that's unfair. He was great tonight, but not my pick there. I would have gave him a star of the game. But again, not my pick there. And then, yeah, that was it. Let's get to Twitter, where we only have one reply from Kazoo. Remember, no matter how bad, no matter how painful, no matter all the warning signs, you do not, under any circumstances, change power play 1. I don't care that they scored 2 goals. They were brutal. I'm not sure if you're trying to say they were good or bad there, because at one point you're saying don't change it because it's good, I guess. And then you're also saying that it was brutal. I'm going to guess that you meant the latter, where they were brutal. And yeah, I agree. They were brutal tonight. And I think that there still needs to be a change for the Rangers when it comes to the power play. Again, not convinced when you're not cycling the puck and you're not making plays that way to score goals, when you're getting fast breaks and needing to make defensive plays shorthanded there, or on the power play for the Panthers shorthanded. I'm not impressed. I'm not. They need to be better. So yeah, I agree. You got to change the power play a bit there. But let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section. Would love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. That's going to be it for me. And yeah, remember to like, subscribe, all of that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go Rangers.